Hi, and welcome to today's video. My name's Steve with Joy and Success Coaching. Today's video is going to be a review of the book Set Boundaries, Find Peace by Nedra Tawwab. From this jacket cover, I'm going to read to you, healthy boundaries. We all know we should have them. In order to achieve work-life balance, cope with toxic people, and enjoy rewarding relationships with partners, friends, and family. But what do healthy boundaries really mean, and how can we successfully express our needs, say no, and be assertive without offending others? A licensed counselor, sought-after relationship expert, and one of the most influential therapists on Instagram, Nedra Tawwab demystifies this complex topic for today's world. In a relatable and inclusive tone, Set Boundaries, Find Peace presents simple yet powerful ways to establish healthy boundaries in all aspects of life. Rooted in the latest research and best practices used in cognitive behavioral therapy, these techniques help us identify and express our needs clearly and without apology, and unravel a root problem behind codependency, power struggles, anxiety, depression, burnout, and more. This book was released in 2021 and is from Tarcher Perigee, a imprint of Penguin Random House. I'm going to read to you from the dedication here. Having healthy boundaries has changed my life in ways that I didn't know were possible. This book is dedicated to those of us who are gaining freedom through unapologetic, healthy boundaries. So this book breaks up into pretty much two parts, consisting of 15 chapters, and it's a little bit over 250 pages. Some of the chapters, starting at part 1, are understanding the importance of boundaries, what the heck are boundaries, the cost of not having healthy boundaries, why we don't have healthy boundaries, the 6 types of boundaries, and what boundary violations look like. Part 2, this is how you do the work of setting boundaries, discusses all of the various parts of your life where setting boundaries may be required, whether or not that's with family, friends, work, romantic relationships, even yourself, and with social media and technology. This book is really, really well done. Dr. Tawwab takes her time to go in great detail about the various different types of boundaries we may have in our relationships with others. There are really detailed and clear examples of how to set and enforce boundaries, how to do it in a way that minimizes the amount of guilt or shame you may feel in doing it. It talks about the meanings of boundaries, that they are to safeguard you from overextending yourself, and that they are a self-care practice, that they are a way that you can ask people to show up by upholding your needs and to communicate those needs to others and create healthy relationships. I mean, in every one of these chapters, it goes into really good detail, the common responses that people may have to you setting boundaries, pushback, testing your limits, getting defensive, maybe even ghosting you or giving you the silent treatment, and how you can navigate such responses from people when you begin to set boundaries. It talks about all of the problems that not having boundaries could result in, things that could lead to burnout, such as listening to people complain about the same things over and over, doing your best with little appreciation for your work, various things that could help you with setting boundaries, such as reminders that it was never your job in childhood to somehow take care of your siblings, to learn things without guidance, to keep peace in a chaotic home, and that you have a right to set boundaries around these various issues, to know when your boundaries are being violated and to communicate that. At the end of every chapter, there is little exercises, journaling exercises that you can write down and do, various different wordings and phrasings you can begin to make your own as it regards communicating clearly with people. It even talks a bit about relationships, dating, how boundaries can start to overlap with things like attachment theory, whether or not anxious or avoidant attachments are from having rigid or porous approaches to setting boundaries, and what healthy boundaries would look like. It has information about the type of things that you can change when interacting with others, even if you cannot change them, such as what you're willing to accept and how you'll react to or deal with things, how much space you'll allow for others to take up, even if you can't change their behavior, and nor is it worth it to try, usually, to change someone else. You can get tips on changing your perspective in this book. I think Dr. Tawwab has done a really wonderful book on set boundaries, find peace, and goes into really thorough detail in every chapter. There's countless examples from her time as a counselor, signs of unhealthy friendships, that the relationship between you is competitive more so than friendly, ways to deal with chronic complainers. I mean, every chapter has something that's really actionable, and again, there's exercises to help put this into practice at the end of every chapter. Considerations about how you can implement boundaries in the workplace environment, and what times you'd be willing to schedule work outside of proper working hours, and how to communicate that with employers and coworkers. It's really a book that helps with self-reflection on this issue as to whether or not you've been communicating clearly in setting boundaries, and if your own boundaries are healthy or if they are too rigid or porous. Yeah, I would definitely recommend seeking out Dr. Tawwab's book and her YouTube or Instagram page for more information about boundary setting. And if you feel you have any issues in your relationships regarding boundaries and setting and enforcing healthy boundaries with your loved ones, you can always reach out to me here. You can leave me a comment down below, or you can reach out to me by email privately at joyandsuccesscoaching@gmail.com, and we can talk more about your needs and setting up a schedule for coaching. I hope this video is finding you well. I hope your weekend's been going well. For those of you who celebrate, Ramadan Mubarak. For those of you who celebrate, if I don't talk to you before next week, happy St. Patrick's Day. For those of you who like clocks and time, happy Spring Forward Day with the clocks. I hope everyone's doing well, and I'll talk to you guys soon. You take it easy.